Hi guys, welcome to Salt and Prepper. My name is Faith Eden, and today I just wanted to talk to you about why I think it's important to prepare. So none of these are in any particular order. I just literally I'm on my lunch break and jotted a few things down. Of course, this is not like an extensive list of reasons why you should look into being prepared, but they're things that I find important, things I want to be prepared for. So the first thing is going to be job loss. This hits my heart because I have lost a job before. In 2008, when the market crashed, I lost my job. I was laid off. I actually had to move to a completely different state just to be able to get work. So job loss is one of those things that's very near and dear to my heart, being prepared for that situation, because the last thing that you want to do when you're trying to pay all of your bills still, because those aren't going to go away just because you got laid off, one of the things that's going to be a relief is not having to buy food, or at least as much food, because you will have really developed a pantry that you can shop, that you have sufficient supply of, and whether it's basic or not, you'll have food that's readily available to you. The second thing is going to be inflation. So we have all been hit by the inflation. I am sick and tired of hearing the word inflation, but it's hit everything. It's hit our insurance bills, it's hit our phone bills, our water bills, electricity, our retail bills. We are getting hit by inflation from literally every direction. In my opinion, one of the best ways that we can kind of battle inflation a little bit is really by seizing sale prices and keeping a rotating stock. And there's like a weird sense of peace in knowing that you're using, I don't know, a can of vegetables that really only cost you 49 cents, and right now you can't get them for less than $1. Attached to that, we're going to say that the next one is peace of mind, because there is a peace of mind in knowing that almost whatever situation you're going to be faced with, you're not going to have to worry about certain things. You're not going to have to worry about where all your paperwork is, because that should all be together, right? You're not going to have to worry about whether or not you have cash on you. You're not going to have to worry about, obviously, the food, first aid, hygienic items. You're not going to have to worry so much about that because you will have already taken care of that. They're financially big things when you add them up, but in small increments, that's pretty lightweight stuff that we can be doing for ourselves. Even if you purchase things secondhand or off Facebook Marketplace, having backup generators, having little buddy heaters, having extensions to your first aid kit, having socks, having fresh packaged underwear, having a sufficient amount of toothpaste for you and your family. All of those things make a difference. And so when you purchase those things on sale at one point, you're going to get them cheaper than if you were to be buying them now. And that's financially going to help as well. So anyways, the peace of mind. There is a peace of mind in knowing that it's winter time. We just had an ice storm. I can't leave my house, but golly gee, we don't have to leave the house the whole time we're having this snowstorm or ice storm because I was prepared. That takes a whole load off right there. Now you're worried about, okay, we don't have to worry about food. How am I going to keep people warm, right? But if you've been prepping, you have backup plans to backup plans to backup plans on how you're going to keep your family warm. The next one is evacuation. So it's going to look differently from state to state. Where I live, there's not a lot of reasons to have to evacuate your home. But in the South, there might be. On the East Coast, you have hurricanes, you have massive weather implications that would cause you to have to make the decision to stay or to go. Okay, so if you have to evacuate, which is also like your bug out situation, are you ready to have to leave your home? Is all of your important paperwork in one convenient place for you to be able to grab and go? Do you have a bag ready with a flashlight, with changes of clothes and socks and underwear and hygienics, and maybe a little bit of little rations of food? Do you have those things ready to go right then and there if something were to happen and you, for whatever reason, had to go? Blackouts. For whatever reason, blackouts are a big deal to me. Evidently, I don't want to be without lights. But blackouts are a big deal. They happen often. They are happening more and more often, planned, but happening more often. The grid is constantly under attack. It's one of those things that we have to take in stride. That is something that is bound to happen at one point or another. You know, in California with their brownouts or blackouts, I think they're brownouts, you know, where they tell you, okay, you're not going to have any power from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Okay. Well, when it's like 107 degrees outside and you have a brand new baby, how are you going to keep that baby comfortable? And 2 hours seems like that's a short period of time, but 2 hours is long enough for your apartment or your house to get real hot. Okay. So blackouts. Are you prepared to be able to provide light when needed? Do you have entertainment to keep your family busy? Do you have backup cords, backup power stations? Do you have a generating system that would kick your lights back on? Do you have what you need to be able to do your basic stuff that we take for granted that we're able to do because we have electricity? So that's another reason why I think it's important to prep, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to make a mistake. You never know who's going to make a decision that directly affects you. So be prepared. Just be as close to self-sufficient as possible. Now that branches off into a whole bunch of different things. Being self-sufficient is such an incredible lifestyle. I am not there yet. I'm not close to being there. That is my desire, to be there. I watch a lot of really wonderful people on YouTube who are really close to being like self-sufficient. A lot of them that are, where really they could put the gates up and their land would give them what they need. And I think that is very admirable, and that's a great goal. I am not there, and it's okay to not be there. But what can we do to be as self-sufficient as possible? So if we have a stock of food, we'll be self-sufficient unto a certain point. So who are we developing relationships with that maybe is a little bit more self-sufficient than us? Are we still trying to sharpen those skills even though we don't have a place to sow seeds? Are we doing what we can to maybe benefit someone who does have that, and we can go and help, and through helping we can benefit through some of that harvest, you know? But being as self-sufficient as possible, I think, is really my number one reason for choosing to be ready as I possibly can. Job loss, evacuation, being able to help people. I think we take for granted, like, prepping is so like inward focused. I think it's important to look out at the people that are around us, our neighbors, and like have enough to help our family and friends and our neighbors. You know, I think that's such an underrated thing, is being willing to help our neighbors. Yes, we're doing it for me and mine, but leave some wiggle room for other people that might need something, because maybe they didn't think to be prepared. Maybe, how glorifying to God would that be for you to be able to help your neighbor in a time of need? I think that's such a big deal. Climate, you know, so where I live in Missouri, Ice storms is just something that I think about all the time. There have been several towns that have had ice storms where they lost power for months, not days, not weeks, months. And I am from the state of California before the rolling brownouts, okay? So one, for it to be a popsicle outside and I can't turn my lights on, that's a double whammy, okay? So being prepared for all of those. So just to summarize them real quick: job loss, climate, evacuation or bugging out, being able to help family and friends, inflation, blackouts, being self-sufficient, and peace of mind. I think for me personally, those are reasons that are very important for me to be a prepper. As much as I hate that name, that's important for me. That is my motivating factor. And I wish more people were prepared, and not even for like an apocalyptic whatever. I know that's a thing, but we should be prepared for something as basic as a job loss. If I lose my job tomorrow, have I given myself some leeway to be able to save whatever money I can? It's a basic thing, but it's the truth, and I don't think enough of us make sure that we're preparing. I don't think a lot of us take on that responsibility because of, it's the United States. Everything that we want is right there. Well, what if one day you wake up and it's not? What are you going to do? So those are my reasons and motivations for prepping. If you have any other reasons or motivations for prepping, please leave them in the comments below. I would really enjoy reading them just to see what really gets other people encouraged and motivated for this stuff. So that's all that I have, but thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you have a great day. Bye.